Good day, and welcome to the Time Preservation Society. I'm Thorin Oakenshield. Today, we're reviewing the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone using the most cutting-edge unscientific science that we can cut off the pre-cut unscientific edge. As always, check your screen to find the real-time information on the equipment I'm using and when I'm using it. Full disclosure, I bought this microphone with my own money, and I am in no way affiliated with Shure microphones. Yet. These are my own opinions, based solely on my own subjective experience. Now, on to some history of this mic in particular. The following blurb is mostly taken directly from Shure's website. Blurb. The SM7B truly began as the SM5. The dynamic microphone can trace its roots back to the Shure Unidyne 3 cartridge created by engineering wizard Ernie Seeler in 1959. Besides powering the SM57 and the SM58, this was also the key ingredient in the true SM7 forerunner, the rather bulbous SM5, which weighed around 2 pounds. The SM5 sounded great, but was too big for a lot of studios, so the bosses at Shure gave the engineers a mission. Make the best broadcasting mic you can, with no limitations. The result was the SM7, which looks almost identical to the brand new SM7B that you can purchase today, this one. So, where did the B come from? I'm glad you asked. Though there have been very few changes to the SM7 mic over the years, the engineers at Shure eventually put in a bigger humbucking coil so the mic wouldn't pick up interference from TV monitors and radio stations. That was the SM7A. And then in 2001, they started offering the SM7A with a bigger windscreen. Thus, the SM7B was born. And there it is. Wait, why am I showing a picture of the SM7B? It's right here. Literally right here in front of me. Two notable singers among many who recorded with the SM7 mics are Mick Jagger and Michael Jackson. Quincy Jones used it as the central mic across the entire Michael Jackson Thriller album, which is one of the best-selling albums of all time. If you want to hear it clearly in action, listen to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. That's the mic right here. This one just has a bigger windscreen and is now more resilient to radio interference. It's still preferred by thousands of artists today and is widely used around the world on many albums. Ancient technology. Of course, you may have noticed the SM7B also has found a home with thousands of radio stations, talk shows, and podcasts. Take your pick. There are a lot of them. This is a dynamic mic, which uses an XLR connector. It features a low-cut switch and a present boost switch, which I never use. I never use either of them. And it has a frequency response of 50 Hz to 20 kHz. The included pop screen comes off, which reveals its truly ugly skeleton underneath. But be careful removing this pop screen. Always try to grab it by the plastic ring here at the bottom. Maybe use a fingernail to get underneath it. It feels fragile. It's about the only thing that feels fragile about this mic. It also comes with a second pop filter that's much bigger and much ghastlier. It's right in your face. I also just love how you don't have to turn the whole mic screw on and off the mic stand. I love this. They thought of that. They thought of me. The output impedance is 150 ohms. I couldn't find any official information on the maximum sound pressure level, but some say it's upwards of 170 decibels. You will likely never need to mic something that loud. This mic doesn't need phantom power, but some people just might need a inline preamp, like a cloud lifter to boost the signal, depending on your own gear. At the time of this video, the SM7B retails for $399 US or 520 Canadian dollars. A cloud lifter is around 150 to 250, depending on where you buy it. There are cheaper versions out there that do the same thing. This thing is built beautifully. It's robust and weighty and feels so good. The highest quality craftsmanship right here. It weighs in at 765.4 grams. That's 1.7 pounds. The measurements are... Oh, just let me get my trusty measuring tape here. You know, this measuring tape was manufactured in 1976. I picked it up at a flea market in Prague in '82. It measures 7 3/4 inches long with this pop screen on. At its thickest, we're at 2.5 inches. Okay, in order to use this mic, you're going to need an interface or preamp that'll take XLR inputs. For this review, I've plugged directly into a Universal Audio Apollo Twin X without a cloud lifter. The SM7B is a notoriously quiet mic. It needs a lot of gain. The Apollo just has enough gain to power it, but other interfaces may struggle a bit. If you intend to belt out some loud-ass lyrics, I'm sure any interface will do just fine. But since cranking the gain on many other interfaces and recorders introduces noise, it's always smart to have a cloud lifter handy. I'll do another video in the future about inline preamps. The SM7B is not a noiseless mic like some condenser mics. It needs a good preamp, Louis Vuitton handbags, and Prada shoes. It definitely has an audible noise floor when you're cranking your gain to mic up a quiet source. It's a moving coil microphone with no active electronics, so there isn't really any measurable self-noise to speak of. That's why you'll not find those specific specs anywhere. Most of the noise you'll hear will be generated by your preamps. This is why some people will say that this is a noisy mic, but it's their preamps that don't have enough reasonable gain. Well, unreasonable gain, I guess. It's a hungry mic, and when you push some preamps past their comfort zones, you start to hear noise. Here, let's do a noise test with 4 different preamps. Here's the SM7B's noise through the Apollo Twin X at almost full gain. Silence. Now here's the SM7B through the Scarlett 8i6 3rd generation cranked. Silence. Now here's the SM7B through a Zoom H5 recorder set to around 7. Silence. Now here's the SM7B through a Sound Devices MixPre 3.2 recorder. It's set to around 6. Silence. Did you notice a difference in the preamp noise? I'm sure you did. How about the sound quality? Let me know in the comments what you thought. Now the Plosive Test. Poop and pee at 2:45 with a cup of tea. That's with nothing on it. That's the skeleton here. Poop and pee at 2:45 with a cup of tea. It's not so bad. Could be a lot worse. Now let's try it with the big one on. Poop and pee at 2:45 with a cup of tea. This one actually is not bad, but you can hear my beard. And you got to be right up on it. Right up in on it. Right up. This one actually works really well. I'm actually quite impressed with this one. This one's good. Now, I'll call upon my selves to check the off-axis rejection. Selves? Coming in from the left. Your left. Coming in from the right. Your right. Coming in from behind. Oh, thank you. Splendid. So, how does this mic sound for a spoken word? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's hear it on a few musical situations. I'm going from my Godin session straight into a Line 6 Pod Go and into the effects return of my modified all-tube Crate Blue Voodoo 50-watt head. I modified it by losing some knobs on the front here, see? And then into a 212 Buddha cab. This is no way to rip off Podcastage channel. It's just a song, I'm trying it out. Really sorry if I'm ripping off anyone. It's just a song, and these are the lyrics. These are the lyrics. I'm just making them up on the fly. I didn't rip off Podcastage. I did. I totally did. Now, how about other uses? I know some of the following tests seem ridiculous to some, but I assure you there are many people, me included, who want to see how this mic works in other situations. All right, I'm overhead booming right now. So, that's what this sounds like. Okay, now let's point it at things. And that concludes our examination. Analysis. I think this mic was outstanding on spoken word, vocals, electric guitar, and even some percussion. I actually didn't mind it on acoustic guitar either. It's a darker sound that'll definitely have its place in some songs, not every song. But honestly, I think this mic sounds fantastic in almost any musical or narration application. I think it fell short for overhead booming and quiet sounds and sounds that really need high-end articulation in order to represent their true sonic nature. And this was expected because this mic was not in any way intended for those applications. It's a dynamic mic. It's best at close proximity, so no points lost there. Would I use this? Absolutely, without a doubt. Actually, this is my favorite mic of all time right now. I know it's a very popular mic, and a lot of people say that it's their favorite, but there's a reason for that. It just has this beautiful sound when capturing the human voice. Like each sound wave has a coating on it, like latex. I can hear this super ear-pleasing edge to everything it records. It reminds me of handling a balloon, but with all the pointy, harsh frequencies removed, and all the pleasing sounds and frequencies enhanced. I don't know. That's a terrible way to explain it. Compared to others in this class, I feel that this mic is better than almost every other dynamic mic out there. The Electro Voice RE20 comes close to, and some might argue is better than, the SM7B, but I don't think so. I've been a Shure fanboy for more than 30 years for good reason. I mean, I really love Shure mics. Value for money? That depends on what you're using it for and how much you value quality. If you were putting together a podcast, you could always start with, say, a Shure SM58 or 57 and get great results. Those are usually priced at around $100. If you're a musician or an engineer or a producer, then you likely already own one or two SM57s or 58s and might be looking for the best dynamic mic around to complement your locker. In this case, get the SM7B. The thing I've learned about recording gear in general is that if you're serious, you should save your money and buy the product you really want and not settle for cheap versions or knockoffs. The reason is because you'll end up buying twice. First the cheapo, then the real deal when you realize the cheapo just isn't cutting it. If you're just starting out in this wonderful world of time preservation in the form of recorded audio, you'll learn that lesson at some point down the road. And if you're a veteran, then you already know all too well. Just remember this might need to be paired with an inline preamp depending on your interface or recorder, so factor that in when making the judgment. Final notes. My fully subjective personal opinion is get this mic. And when you buy it, tell Shure that I sent you. Oh, and also tell them to send me all the mics. Oh, and also tell them that I'm giving them permission to go ahead and update the colors on their logo sticker. And tell them that I love them. Oh, and tell them... Wait, that one's personal. Okay, that's it. Just tell them that. Oh, and tell them, had the aim of men been truer that day, much would have been different. Bye now. End transmission.